Sulaiman Abu, the son-in-law of Osama bin Laden, was charged by U.S. prosecutors with conspiring to kill Americans after the September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks. Abu was captured as he sought to travel from Jordan to Kuwait by the Central Intelligence Agency and Federal Bureau of Investigation after a decade-long manhunt, U.S. officials said. He was accused in an indictment unsealed today of plotting with bin Laden and other members of Al-Qaeda from 1989 until now to kill U.S. nationals. He is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow in federal court in New York. It has been 13 years since Abu allegedly worked alongside Osama bin Laden in his campaign of terror and 13 years since he allegedly took to the public airwaves, exhorting others to embrace Al-Qaeda's cause and warning of more terrorist attacks like the mass murder of 9/11, Manhattan. U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara said in an emailed statement. He faces life in prison if convicted, the prosecutor said. The memory of those attacks is indelibly etched on the American psyche, and today's action is the latest example of our commitment to capturing and punishing enemies of the United States, no matter how long it takes, Bharara said. Bin Laden is viewed as having been among the group's most influential surviving leaders since U.S. Navy SEALs killed bin Laden in May 2011. He's also the highest-ranking member of Al-Qaeda brought to stand trial in a federal court in the U.S., according to the FBI. Prosecutors allege that Abu served alongside bin Laden, appearing with him and bin Laden's then deputy, Ayman al-Zawahiri, speaking on behalf of the terrorist organization and in support of its mission. Abu swore an oath of allegiance to bin Laden, called a bayat, agreeing to support violent attacks against U.S. property and citizens, either military or civilians, prosecutors said in the complaint. Abu, as a spokesman for Al-Qaeda, also warned that attacks similar to those of September 11 would continue, the U.S. said. On September 12, 2001, the day after the terrorist attacks in the U.S., Abu, with bin Laden and al-Zawahiri, spoke on behalf of Al-Qaeda, warning the U.S., "A great army is gathering against you." Airplanes stormed. He later gave a speech in which he addressed the U.S. Secretary of State and warned that the storms shall not stop, especially the airplanes storm, the U.S. alleged in the indictment. He advised Muslims, children and opponents of the U.S. not to board any aircraft and not to live in high-rises. Prosecutors said he arranged to have himself successfully smuggled from Afghanistan into Iran in 2002. Abu is scheduled to be arraigned on the indictment before U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan in New York. The capture of Abu, which came after a decade-long manhunt, was reported earlier today by the Turkish newspaper Hurriyet. U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder called the apprehension of Abu an important milestone in counter-terrorism efforts. "No amount of distance or time will weaken our resolve to bring America's enemies to justice," said Holder. Key position Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's New York field office George Venizelos said Abu held a key position in Al-Qaeda, comparable to the consigliere in a mob family or propaganda minister in a totalitarian regime. He used his position to persuade others to swear loyalty to Al-Qaeda's murderous cause, he said in a statement. He used his position to threaten the United States and incite its enemies. Turkish authorities, acting on information from the CIA, first seized Abu more than a month ago at a hotel in Ankara, the Turkish capital, according to U.S. congressional and intelligence officials. The Turkish court subsequently rejected a U.S. request for his extradition and released him on the grounds that he hadn't been charged with committing any crime in Turkey. CIA officers located him after he arrived in Ankara with an Iranian passport, and he asked Saudi Arabian diplomats to help his wife and children go to their country, according to the U.S. officials, who asked not to be named to discuss intelligence matters. His wife is a Saudi citizen,